Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today in this video we are going to discuss about the SQL primary key constraint, which is one of the most important constraint in SQL. So let's see how to do it. So first of all, before getting into the implementation part, we need to know what is actually a primary key. So what is a primary key? The primary key constraint is a constraint that uniquely identifies each record in a table. So it is the main purpose of this constraint to uniquely identify something in a table. So in the one of the earliest videos I have defined that primary key is a combination of not null and unique constraints. It is a fact about that constraint because primary key should be a combination of these constraints, not null and unique. Because when we define a field in a table as a primary key, the primary key should contain unique values as well as it should not contain any null values. That is why it is the most important thing in the table to determine anything uniquely in that table itself. So that is a main point to be noticed in this while using this constraint. And one last rule or one last condition that this primary key follows is only one primary key will be allowed for a particular table. Trying to create more than one primary key for a table is a violation. It will show some violation error on creation. We will see how it will be implemented in the SQL command prompt. So first of all, we need to connect with the SQL database using username and password, and then we need to create the table because we can make a field in a table primary key during the creation of table or after the creation of table also. So first we need to implement, or we need to understand how this primary key implementation is happening on creating a table itself. So I am creating a table of name student, and let the fields be roll number of type integer, name of type varchar of size 20, and finally gender. Let these three be the data or fields of my table, and of size, let it be size 40. Like this is the table now. So when we need to make up any of these field primary key, uh, here I want to make roll number as a primary key. So what we need to do is just after the data type we just need to specify it as primary key. That's just what we need to do to make a field primary key during the creation of table itself. So when we try to run this, a table is created. Using describe statement we can see whether anything has changed. Yes, roll number has changed to not null because we know that primary key is a combination of not null and unique constraint. So in order to make sure that these constraints follows as per the rules, we will try to insert the values. First of all, we need to check the not null constraint is working, right? So we will insert into student only. I will try to insert name and gender. First of all, I will try to insert the name and gender only, so that I can understand. We can understand that the roll number follows a not null constraint or not. So I try to implement this values. Both are varchar, right? So we need to insert a character. Let it be A, B, C, and gender be M. So inserting, showing that the cannot insert null into roll number. It means that roll number should not be a null value. It should have some values. So it means that not null constraint is working when using primary key. So we have one more constraint to be verified, which is a unique constraint. So when we try to insert uh, the roll number also, which is integer, so I just wrote one as roll number and remaining as same, so that one row will be created. In order to check the uniqueness, we will try to insert this same data, or I will show you. The roll number is a primary key, so making this as 1 itself and changing anything A and F, it means that unique constraint will be violated because the one has been already used in the table for insertion purpose. We can see that using a select command, select star from the table name, which is student. This is how the works. So that if we use the roll number 1, again it will show the unique constraint. This is what the purpose of primary key in the SQL. So I hope you understand this concept of primary key implementation using create table command. But also there is one more purpose of implementing primary key using a alter table statement. This is applied when if we forget or if we need to change suddenly a field into a primary key or some constraints, we will use this alter table commands. So I will show you again using a new table. If I am creating a new table, create table, let it be person, and the fields be same. Let the fields be same as what I have defined in the student table. Let it be roll number integer and name varchar of a particular size, varchar of 20 or 30. I am giving 30, and gender be size varchar of 50. So when I created this table, it is a simple table without any constraint. We can describe it. Describe person. Uh, you can see that it's a simple table with the three fields which doesn't have any constraints to follow. So in this case, if we need to change a field into a primary key, we cannot use this create table person again in order to change it. So for that situation, we will use the alter table statement for adding a primary key for a particular field in that table itself. So this is how it works. Alter table name here is a person, and we will add the primary key constraint for a particular field. Here I need to add the primary key as a roll number. So I specify roll number inside the primary key attribute. Alter table person add primary key of attribute. So when we implemented it, it shows it as table has been altered. So we can describe it using desc command again. We can see the roll number as same, not null constraint and unique constraint. If we need to make sure whether it is working, we will again try to insert the values of the same way what we have described in student table. Here I just checking the uniqueness of the table person because it is the most important purpose of this primary key constraint. So I tried to add one and ABC, and another one gender as M, and one row is created. So if you use select statement for viewing the data in the table, we can see this data we have inserted now. So when we need to again we need to insert the value with the same roll number what we have provided earlier, it will not work. That is the main purpose of this primary key constraint. We will see insert into person values. I will try to insert again the one, which means it should show some violation. Then it means that it follows the primary key constraint. Let it be Q. Let the gender be F. Then it should show some unique constraint. See, it is showing the same unique constraint, which means that it is following the unique constraint, uniqueness for that field. So that we are making this primary key because by making this constraint as primary, it is useful that this same value is not used in the another another field or another value. When using in the applications, enterprise applications, it can be used in forms. When username trying to same user in trying to insert the value, it means that the one user is already registered, and if another person trying to register with the same username, and that cases and that scenarios, these primary key constraints are used. That is why it is the most important constraint in the SQL, and this is what's the how the primary key works. So I hope you understand the concept of primary key and implementation of primary key in the database. So if you like this video, please press the like button below, and don't forget to subscribe the channel in order to get the latest updates about the channel, and also press the bell button in order to get the latest updates. So have a nice day. Thank you.